Peace, love, and light, family, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ty, and I'm super happy to have you. Hopefully, you'll take a look around, like what you see, and hit the subscribe button. If you're returning, thank you so much for joining me again. I truly appreciate all of the love and the support. Hopefully, you've already subscribed to the channel. You guys, if you're new to tarot and you don't know how this works, it is a general reading, so everything won't resonate. Please take only what resonates, leave the rest for somebody else. Also, keep in mind that when I am pulling tarot, that roles are interchangeable. So that means that you should flip-flop people where they belong in your story, because only you know. I pick up on energy, okay? You have to apply it how you see fit to your story. You guys, this is going to be a general reading, a collective reading for this lunar eclipse, Pisces lunar eclipse, happening today. I'm on the East Coast. I don't know what it is for you, okay? But it's happening today, and yeah, I just wanted to tap in on the energy, which I did. I've been sitting here meditating on the energy, and I did pull a beginning spread with a couple oracle cards. Aside from that, I had a very beautiful meditation session today where I got a download, and I just feel like everything is like coming together with this reading. So in that download, I heard Spirit say, after we experience this, right, the energy that comes following this is that it's time to work. It's time to take the necessary steps, right? It's like we've gathered our information, we have aligned ourselves, and with this eclipse that's occurring, hopefully you allow whatever it is that needs to come to a closing to close, that you are in a state of surrender, so that you can be liberated from anything that is holding you back, in your way, causing conflict, or is an obstacle, so that you can allow all of that to be removed. So sheesh, I lost my train of thought. Anywho, we're gonna get right into this. The first card out, I swear, like, you can't make this up, is the void. Okay, and the void is literally eclipse energy. It is the ending and the beginning, right? It's where everything dies and begins to grow again. The void is all about surrender. It's about surrendering to the unknown, surrendering to the mystery, surrendering to the fact that you don't know. You just can't see. You don't know what's next. And there's this really intense feeling in the air of calm, right? And it's the calm before the shift. So it's like Spirit is saying, it's okay. First of all, allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to do nothing. Nurture yourself, nurture your body, nurture your spirit. This is not a time to be manifesting, to be, trying to do rituals to manifest. This is a time to just be, to just allow, be with yourself, be with your thoughts, be with your feelings and your emotions. It's a Pisces lunar eclipse. It is very emotional. You're gonna feel all of the feels. Things that maybe you haven't remembered, memories will come up, feelings that you haven't felt. Maybe you haven't cried in a long time, and all of a sudden you want to burst into tears. Allow yourself to have that moment, because you are being cleansed. Crying is literally a cleansing, okay? It's a spiritual cleansing happening. So allow yourself to purge and let all of that stuff out. If you're like me, like I feel this energy in the way that I get very exhausted, and you might experience those symptoms, right? Those are ascension symptoms. You're being prepared to receive more, to hold more. And that's why it's so necessary for you to surrender to whatever needs to be cleared out, okay? And allow yourself the time to rest, because your body is recalibrating. And the void is all about that, right? It says, stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. So it really is the end, and then like inception, right? So allowing yourself to be in that energy, okay? Just because you can't see what's happening doesn't mean that things aren't happening, because they are. Things are happening beneath the surface. You know, you've already, many of us have already put in the work in terms of like manifestation, in terms of healing, in terms of really nurturing those aspects of us. But I will say this eclipse energy that's coming, or that we're experiencing now or about to experience, is really going to force us to face our shadows, to face the things that we've been, you know, burying down, you know, have buried down, deep down, you know, in whatever, in the ground, in the back of our minds, right? So all of those things, you know, a lot of us, most of us are going to be forced to face those things, right? Because eclipses come to remove illusions, remove the lies, not just the lies that, you know, people tell us, right? So yes, things are going to come to light. You know, people are going to reveal themselves. Situations are going to reveal themselves. You're going to gain clarity, but also it's about facing ourselves. It's about facing all of the ways we could lie to ourselves. It's about facing all of the parts of ourselves that maybe we've ignored, right? So I feel like that's where like the shadow work is going to come in, right? Have you been lying to yourself about a certain situation, person, place, or thing that you have outgrown, or that, you know, you've been telling yourself, yeah, you know, this is for me and I want to make this work, and you've been, you know, burning the candle at both ends, trying to keep that situation alive. Eclipse comes, you know, to provide a reality check, okay? And it's all happening for us, to put us on the path to our destiny, right? To our North Node. So yeah, bottom of the deck with that was Star Keeper and Baby Steps. And let me tell you, this is exactly what I feel from this energy, is that this is a tipping point for us, right? The energy right now, like I said, this is, I don't want to say the calm before the storm, because it's already brewing, but I would rather look at it as the calm before the shift, right? Because even though some of us will experience things that feel like that, like a storm, like a tower moment, you know, some of us are going to experience that. It is a shift. It's because it's that turning point. It's the point where it's like, if you have been looking left and looking right and been like this, it will force you to face whatever it is, right? And so I feel like it's really important for you to ground your energy. Make sure that you stay grounded. The more grounded you are, the more grounded Mother Earth can be, right? And the less reactive humanity becomes. So it's really important for you to meditate, to ground that energy. This morning I did a grounding meditation, and it was really helpful to me. It really brought me a sense of peace. But yeah, the more grounded we are and become, the more stable Earth's energy becomes. And that's ultimately what we want, right? Because as star keepers, as light workers, as healers, if you have and feel like you have a calling on your life, a purpose, that you're destined for something greater. And I don't mean like better than, I just mean like you feel called, right? You have this specific calling that is different from the regular, the day-to-day, the mundane stuff, right? It's because you're a star keeper. It's because you're a healer. It's because you're a light worker. And if you're watching this channel, chances are you are, and you know that. And even if you haven't known that, you're awakening to it now. It's not just about, how can I say this, making improvements for yourself, for ourselves. It's about making improvements that are going to impact humanity in a way that is conducive, right? It's in a way that helps to shift and raise the collective frequency. And so I feel like it's important to keep that in mind, right? I'm not just here to grow as an individual. I am here to help others grow, to help and contribute to all of the other earth angels and all of the other light workers and healers that are here collectively to help uplift the collective consciousness and raise the frequency and really rebuild on a foundation of love and truth and authenticity, okay? With this card here, Baby Steps, I don't know if you guys can see it, right? So beautiful. She's about to like go through like this doorway or whatever it is. Just such a beautiful card. It's funny because she's at the very top and I just realized there are people like behind her. So yeah, a lot of you are leading the way, right? The healers, the light workers, we are paving the way for the rest of humanity. But with that, I realized, baby steps. This is the energy that I picked up, or the download that I got as well while I was finishing up my meditation, which means like consistency over urgency. Right now, or not right now, let me be clear, right? Let's experience this energy. Let the lunar eclipse happen. Following that energy, you're being asked to take small steps. You don't have to stay focused entirely on the bigger dream, right? On the main goal, right? It's okay for you to see it in your mind's eye, but it's necessary for you to take your focus away from that to focus on the practical baby steps, the small steps that you need to take and that you can take on a day-to-day basis. You don't have to get rid of the whole list all at once. You don't have to look at it and overwhelm yourself. It's like, ask yourself, what can I do every day? What is one thing that I can do that is going to contribute to that goal, right? And so focusing on that, right? And Spirit is really saying to you, this is a time where you have to trust your intuition and follow your intuition before it makes sense to you. Before it makes sense, follow your intuition. So if you're guided today to do something, whatever it is, right? I don't know, you're working on a business model, or you're putting together your business plan or something, and let's say you have been procrastinating. Well, today it's like, take one part of that and just say, you know what, I'm gonna write, even if it's 2 sentences, I'm gonna write 2 sentences. I'm gonna write a paragraph. Or today is the day where I am going to go to the bank and I am going to apply for that loan, or whatever it is. So one thing, just tackle one thing at a time, because it's time after this. Gosh, I gotta be clear, because right now I just want you guys, the energy is about you really just surrendering, and being with yourself, right? Following this. It's about putting in the work. It's about actually starting to take those steps, bit by bit, little by little. You don't have to do it all at once, okay? It's about really, again, consistency over urgency. So not feeling like you don't have enough time. Time is an illusion. And when you're a light worker, a healer, or, or you're on this path, you're an empath, we can get really frustrated, because time goes slower here on earth. Okay. And again, because it's an illusion. So we have, you have to keep that practical mindset, because you're still in this human body, right? And so a lot of times we can experience frustration behind the timing, right? But remember, everything happens in divine timing and divine order. Okay. You have more than enough time to get things done. All right. So focus on the small stuff. Focus on the small steps necessary to do whatever it is that you need to do to accomplish your dreams and your goals. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna be facing ourselves, is what Spirit is saying, right? We're gonna be facing ourselves, as in we're gonna be facing our shadows. We're gonna be facing the things, the areas that we have been ignoring, or maybe like sleeping on or procrastinating. That's basically the energy right now. Spirit, tell me more here for this lunar eclipse in Pisces that's happening right now. Tell me more, please. What is the energy for the collective? Yeah, change is coming. Yeah. So we got the King of Wands, and we got the 8 of Wands. This is fire energy. This is about taking action. So I feel like, again, once we are in the clear, right? Once we pass, and this energy is going to be around for the next 18 months, something like that, right? So this is going to be a process, but following this lunar eclipse, this is all about being action oriented, following our passions, following our dreams, and change is going to happen quickly. So it's important right now. What Spirit is saying is that it's important right now for you to get your rest. Oh, I got something else. 10 of Cups. it's important for you to get your rest, because when things begin to shift, you're going to have a lot on your plate. You're going to have a lot to do. There's going to be a lot of work. And so you're going to need that energy. You're going to need to, right now, refill your cup. Okay. The King of Wands is confident and takes action. This is the energy that says, like, we've gathered the information, and this is a perfect time also still right now in this energy for you to learn, for you to read, for you to do research, for you to, journal and write down, your feelings, your thoughts, anything that comes to mind, anything that you're inspired by, write it down. Even if right now in this moment you're not acting on it, write it down so that you don't forget, because you're going to come back to that. The 10 of Cups is about total fulfillment, right? So I feel like this is about the shift that happens that puts you again on your North Node, the things that make you happy. This is about the quintessential dream, right? So the 10 of Cups is not just about love and family, but it's about that fulfillment, feeling fulfilled, getting the things that you want, making your dreams come true. Okay. The 2 of Swords. Yeah, I feel like, wow, and look at that storm. It's like a vortex is what I'm hearing, right? So, yeah, it reminds me of what I say, the quiet before the storm. But I feel like, it's funny because I feel like what Spirit is saying right now is like, you are going to be like, once this energy kind of stabilizes, right? Once we're out of the lunar eclipse, the actual happening, I feel like this is you taking your power back. It's like you're gonna pave the way. This is you taking action and really getting clear on what it is that you want. So like if your mind has been scattered, if you haven't, really had a sense of direction, I feel like you're gonna be able to identify, like here he is pointing, this is a map, this is a destination, right? Here he is, he finally gets it, right? And he's like, okay, this is where we're headed. And now all of these other things that were thrown at you, all of the other ideas, I'm not saying that they're gonna, they're not gonna be there, but I'm saying that you're gonna be able to like buckle down and be like, nope, this is what I want. So if you haven't had, again, if you haven't been clear, because right now we're not clear, it's like you can feel, I don't know. It's like that eerie feeling in the air, this energy of like stillness. It's okay to just be, right? So once that clears, once that energy is behind you, it's going to be so clear to you, this is what I want. This is where I'm going. And I feel like you're going to grab that, and that is what is going to move you, right? So this is about being taking inspired action toward the things that make us happy, that resonate with our spirits, that resonate with our souls. The 8 of Wands is about information and messages coming through, but it's also fast moving, right? So I feel like there's this stillness, and then all of a sudden, boom, it all happens. It all happens, and you're like, oh my God, I felt like nothing was happening, and now everything is happening for me. And you start to feel it's going to feel really good, okay? But I do feel like there's a certain decision that you've been trying to make, that the collective has been trying to make about a certain movement. You could be called to go live somewhere else or live in more than one place. This is what I was getting, right? So like, even if you thought, I need to move there, like your desire is to move to a certain location, I feel like I'm picking up this energy of even living in 2 places at the same time. And I know that's hard, right? But maybe in the sense of like you realizing, okay, this is home base, but I do find myself wanting to, or being guided to, traveling to this specific location and maybe working there, whatever it is that you're guided to do there. But I feel like you're going to be called to like feed that light, or have others experience your light in other locations, right? And some of you are going to be moving, right? The Page of Wands, this is about the beginning, right, of taking that. And look, he's packing light. So taking that necessary step so that you can, it's like you're going to be experienced in other places. Your energy is necessary in other places, in other spaces. You are someone who goes into a space, and you're meant for people to experience you. you understand? You're a whole experience, okay? And this is not a message for everybody. I had to check to see if my mic was still on. But for many of you, this is exactly what it is, right? And here it is right now. Gemini energy, the Lovers, this is the choice, the card of choice. So again, I feel like you're going to be presented with a decision, a choice, or something that you have already been presented with. And again, maybe you weren't able to make the decision because you didn't have a clear idea. You didn't have that knowing. I feel like that comes after this energy here, after this turning point, this tipping point. You're gonna be able to be like, aha, this is exactly what I want. And you know, Gemini energy is air energy. Air energy is, the heart is also ruled by the element of air. So this tells me that there could be a decision also for many of you in love and with the aspect, or sorry, I can't talk. With respect to love, right? There's a decision, and it could be you deciding, maybe you meet someone or you have met someone, because the Page of Wands is it's an early energy, it's something new, it's something that you're just beginning to explore, right? And maybe you have this desire to connect with someone, okay? Even if it's just, you know, if it's something new and you haven't really put yourself out there, maybe you finally decide and you finally experience like that courage that says, you know what, I want to move toward this person, I want to experience this, I want to say to them, I want to talk to them, right? Gemini rules communication, the throat chakra. Maybe you have something to say to someone to express how it is that you're feeling and wanting to explore something with them, and you finally make the decision, you know what, I'm going to travel to see this person. Or you're already in a connection with someone and you decide, okay, I'm going to move there, or they're going to move here, right? Having that talk. I'm not taking reversals, by the way. Having that talk that allows you to really like express that, right? Expressing your feelings, expressing your desires. The Strength card came out. So yeah, this tells me that right now, whatever this situation is for you, even if that's something, you know, regarding a job or a project or something that you want to do right now, it's like you're taming yourself, right? So you're holding back, and that's okay in this energy, right? Because right now, again, this is about stillness. So the Strength card, this is Leo energy, okay? So here we have Gemini, Leo, lots of fire, right? So Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, you may be one, you may be dealing with one. You just may have those placements very strongly in your chart, but it's about taking inspired action, right? So again, and look, I see here are two storms. I can't help but notice them, right? Two storms that happen here, right? So I feel like something happens that brings clarity. Excuse me. Something happens, okay, where somebody finally finds the courage to move toward a certain goal, a certain person, or a certain location. The Chariot is all about willpower and drive. It's about you taking the wheel, right? Having the inner courage, having the strength to push forward. But it's also a card of victory and success, okay? And I feel like, again, even with this, right, in the Chariot, there's this way, there's that way, right? This way, that way. And so I feel like it really is, many of the collective are going to be or already are at a crossroads where you really are going to find yourself asking, okay, do I go down the path that I've been down already? I know that path, or am I going to overcome these fears, right? And have the courage and the strength to move in a different direction, all right? Tell me about the Lovers card here for the collective, the Sun. Oh my gosh. Wow, that is beautiful. Wow, that is beautiful. I feel like it's funny because I saw earlier, and I always say that, I've been saying this for a while. I said it in many of my readings in the recent past, is you're one decision away from a totally different life. And I feel like some of you, this could be an idea, okay? Or again, inspiration, like you get this spark that all of a sudden you're drawn in a certain direction, you're being guided, you're being led in a certain direction, and it is completely opposite from what you have experienced in the past, or it's something that you can't even explain. You can't even explain why you all of a sudden have a feeling to move to that location. You can't explain why you all of a sudden have a feeling, just you're drawn to this certain person, but you know that there is an intense connection there. There is a soul tie, there's a soul connection, or there's something that is calling you, that's pulling you to go to that location because you feel like something is just there that's waiting for you, okay? You're meant to do work there. You're meant to be experienced there. You're meant to come into union with someone in that location, or you're meant to come and collaborate and find new community wherever it is that you're being guided. The sun says 1 and 9 is 10. That's the completion of a cycle. So you're closing something out. You're going to be closing out a chapter of trials and tribulation, and you're literally walking toward the sun, okay? This is about, again, starting small. You go from the Page of Wands to the King of Wands, right? So an idea, this little spark, okay, something that's just begun, something that you've just been inspired to do. When you follow that, when you follow your intuition before it makes sense, and sidebar, love doesn't make sense typically, so that's just a sidebar. Before it makes sense, you are really able to level up in a way that you have only imagined, okay? Or maybe you just thought about it but never really grounded yourself enough to take those steps because you didn't believe in yourself, because you thought, okay, yeah, that's possible, but it's not possible for me. But no, something shifts here, okay? And when you follow your intuition, when you follow that thing that makes you happy, because I feel like somebody here is now all of a sudden like, it's almost like you have the zest for life again, okay? And it could be that you met someone, or you meet someone who, it's almost like they breathe life into you again, right? Like if you felt, if you felt like, I don't know about this, this job, or I don't know about this passion project. It's like something happens here where it's again, there's life, you breathe, they breathe life into you. Or the idea is like, oh wow, all of a sudden I got it. And it all makes sense and it feels right. And you move toward that. There's an aha moment that happens here, okay? There's something here. Yeah, 6 of Wands, this is about recognition, okay? It's also a card, again, of victory. Lots of Wands energy here as well, okay? So lots of fire energy here, all right? Tell me about the 8 of Wands here. Clarify the 8 of Wands. The Devil. Yeah. Capricorn energy. Yeah. So I feel like this is about not being stuck, right? And it could be that for a while you have felt like bored with your situation, tired of being in the same situation, tired of old cycles, old patterns. And maybe you feel like, gosh, I can't win for losing. It's like the never-ending cycle. That's about to change. That is about to change. This energy is going to come in to change that, okay? You have anything meant for you is not going to pass you by. I don't care what, how jacked up, you've experienced, what kind of life you've had, because the 4 of Cups, he's here, worried about all the things that went wrong. The 3 Cups, right? Just stuck on, oh my God, it just hasn't gone right for me. Whatever it was, I tried that, it didn't go right. I dated, it didn't go right with that person. I'm just over it. And so I feel like it's important to be mindful of your thoughts during this time and not feeding into old patterns of behavior and keeping yourself stuck, because I feel like this has been the energy of the collective, just feeling kind of like stuck, like, okay, get a little movement, but then things kind of just, it's like stalemate kind of thing. Don't get stuck in that, because there's an opportunity here that you don't see coming, okay? There's an opportunity that you don't see coming. The 8 of Pentacles. Stay focused on your work. Invest in yourself. master your craft. This is the energy that I'm talking about when I say after this stillness, this is the energy that you have to be in. Like, talk to your loved ones, talk to the people important in your life and say to them, hey, within the next couple months, you might not hear from me as much, because I'm going to be heads down. I'm going to try to make the most of my time. And it doesn't mean that you're going to take everything on at once, but it does mean that you're going to be more focused with your energy, more focused with your intention. And that might mean that you may disconnect from people who are just not, they're not on your wavelength. They're not on your frequency. Okay. So needing to disconnect, from old things, let them know. Also, right, the people that you love, like I was saying, that they won't hear from you as much, because you are finally going to be taking, hopefully, the steps necessary to getting yourself where you're destined to be, right? The universe is going to conspire with you, but you have to set it off, okay? You have to set it off. Followed by following your heart. Again, this is what it is. Follow your heart. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. If you're guided to do the little things, do it. If you're guided to put something together, I don't know why I'm doing this right now. This is a concoction. Maybe you're a baker, maybe you're a cook, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna put this salt with this sugar. I don't know why, but it's gonna taste good, right? Allow yourself to go with that. Don't try to understand everything. Don't try to make sense of everything, because right now things are moving beneath the surface, things that are fated and destined for us. Right? Eclipses are all about fate and destiny. And so, yeah. Tell me about this 10 of Cups. Whoa. It flips back over, but it's the 10 of Pentacles. It's the 10 of Pentacles. All right? This is about building for yourself. Like, so many of you are going to go in this next cycle that you're about to go into. You're going to be so abundant. Like, I'm talking about you already lack for nothing. You lack for nothing. Understand that anything that we cling to or try to cling to is going to elude us, because the universe is going to say, you know what? The universe is going to take it from you so that you can, how can I say this? Realign with the fact that you already have everything that you need. You don't try to cling to anything. What we resist persists, right? So if something is trying to leave you, let it go. If you keep knocking and it doesn't open, just give it a minute, right? Come back to center. Maybe there's another door that is, that you should be looking at, okay? But you can't see things clearly, all right? But many of you are about to step into a very lucrative time in your life, all right? Where you're not just going to be happy emotionally, you're going to be happy financially, all right? And I know for many of the collective, there's been a lot of financial hardship. Things are not easy right now, right? But I feel like there's an opportunity that comes in that's going to bring in a lot of abundance. I'm not going to take these because Spirit said not to, so I'm just going to clarify. Tell me about the 10 of Cups. Tell me about the 10 of Cups here. I don't want this to be too long, but it is what it is. 8 of Cups. This has been the energy. You get what you want by saying no to everything that you don't want. You get what you want by releasing what is no longer serving you. When you walk away from all the things that have been causing you blockages, from all of the disappointments, from all of the things that don't make you happy anymore. Even if those things once brought you happiness, for some of you, this is a relationship that you have to walk away from because maybe you're just not feeling fulfilled anymore in that relationship. And it could be that you're married. It could be that you have children together. But I feel like this eclipse is going to make us so aware of our feelings and ourselves that you're not going to be able to ignore it, that a situation is not fulfilling you anymore in the way that you would like it to be. You're going to look back and you're going to say, okay, I've been in that situation, that job, in that relationship, in that partnership for 10 years, 15 years of my life. But right now that doesn't fulfill me. I don't feel the passion. I don't feel the excitement. It doesn't, there might be love there. Okay. But with the devil and the 4 of Cups, I feel like many of the collective might be feeling just stuck in a situation, like every day is the same and I need something to change because this is just not fulfilling me anymore. Some of you, that's a decision that you have to make regarding a person, a lover, a relationship, could even be a friendship. Okay, could even be family that you have to literally turn your back on, you have to walk away from, you have to move away from in order to be able to allow yourself the space to call in what belongs to you, right? Some people just drain your energy. Okay, sometimes you have to make the decision to move away from people, right? Because they're taking too much, or just things don't feel good anymore. All right, once you feel that something is no longer vibrating on your frequency, once you feel that that is not in alignment with you anymore, it's time to reevaluate. So I feel like that's going to be something, you know, that a lot of the collective experience. Okay, just it's walking away, it's closing out a certain cycle, a certain chapter. And this is the energy of eclipses. They bring the unexpected, right? The things that we thought we didn't have the courage or the strength to do, all of a sudden it becomes unbearable to stay in those situations. It becomes unbearable to deny the truth to ourselves, right? Bottom of the deck, the Seven of Wands. Yeah, it's about standing in your power and, you know, standing your ground, right? Like, again, putting yourself first, not in a selfish way, even though being selfish sometimes is not a bad thing, but in a way that says, you know, this has run its course, right? And it's time for me to move on to something else. Because again, like I'm hurting myself staying in this situation. I'm hurting myself staying in this job. I'm hurting myself, you know, staying around these people and, you know, in these friendships that claim to love me, but, you know, is no longer fulfilling to me. The Magician came out. Yeah. So this is about you understanding that you have everything you need and you have the power to manifest your own reality. Not right now, because we're in eclipse season, right? We've already done all of this. You already set the intentions. You already set things into motion. If you have been staying tapped in, turned on, then you already did this. You already put in the work. Now it's just allowing these things to come into you. Okay, this is also a card of communication. So again, I feel like, and this is also a card of action. So you've already set the intentions. You've done all of that. The universe is about to clear shit up for you to make space. And then it's go time for you. And then you start again from scratch, something new. Bottom of the deck is the Emperor. You build on firm foundation. You build something new. You build something solid. This takes you from, you know, if you're somebody who is just an old Joe Schmo, or, you know, people underestimated your ideas, you know, people underestimated you. This is about you locking in and shocking everyone around you. Okay? Tell me about the Strength card here. Why is Strength here? Why is Strength here? Oh, why is Strength here? The World. Completing cycles. Completing cycles. This is it. We close something out. Strength card is taming yourself. Being, again, what I said before, I think on my channel, somewhere on my Instagram, you know, refraining from reacting. So right now, I feel like the energy is like just being still. Stay in control, right? Stay grounded in your energy. Not being erratic, not acting on impulse, okay? But I do feel like for many of you, this is finally finding the courage to close out a cycle and step into a new one. In the Eight of Cups, she walks away from the things, from these 8 cups to walk toward her son. Walk toward the things that make her fulfilled. Walk toward the things that she wishes for. The 9th cup, wish fulfillment, okay? But not before a cycle is closed out. And the World card says, you've been through it all. It's time. This is divine timing. I can't make this shit up. Scorpio energy, the Death card, okay? Scorpio energy, Death card is all about transformation that comes from an ending. In every ending, there is a beginning. Scorpio energy is transformative from the inside out. This is about internal shifts. Remember, our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. So if you are unhappy with the world around you, take a look within. But this change, this shift, the things that you want, the job, the career, the recognition, the relationship, all of that for many of the collection is coming after this major shift. And for some of you, not all of you, but for some of you, this could be the ending of how you see something, right? So for some of you, this is not about leaving a relationship behind. It could be closing out something and coming to the realization of the effort or lack thereof that you've put into a situation and really turning that whole situation around, right? Recognizing that you aren't who you were, nor do you want to be that person anymore, and really fully stepping into and embodying this new version of yourself. Queen of Swords. Yeah, I feel like this is about really thinking logically, right? Being organized, being direct with yourself and others about your expectation. The Star card, hope and healing, baby. This is Aquarius energy all the way. These are my cards, okay? Being clear about what it is that you want, and then being willing to not just go out and get it, but to not just wait for what it is that you desire and deserve, but to go out and get all of the other things that you can already attain for yourself. So staying focused on yourself, staying focused on the things that you want, and knowing that as you focus on yourself, as you hone in on yourself and master your craft and love on yourself and nurture yourself, it's inevitable you are going to attract what is yours. For many of you who are light workers, who are healers, people who are on this path to awakening, you are a star. You step into a place, and like I said, you're a whole experience. People are meant to experience your energy. And I know that could be challenging for many of us, right? Because especially those looking for love, right? It could be really challenging, because if you're an empath, if you're a light worker, if you're on here doing this kind of work, it is challenging to connect with people on a romantic level, because our souls, our spirits seek things that are deeper. Granted, there's attraction, but there's got to be something more. You have to feel the tug at the heart, right? That says, okay, in this direction. But I do feel like people are going to be coming into union, right? Divine masculine, divine feminine are going to be coming into union. One more here to close out. One more here to close out. Anything else for the collective? Anything else for the collective? Anything else? Do I take that? Yes. 10 of Pentacles. You guys saw, it wanted to come out. I put it back. And right now, when it fell, I asked. Spirit said, yup. 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. Okay. The Star. The Sun. Baby, I don't care how grim it's been. I don't care how cloudy it's been. I don't care how much it's rained, it's poured. Shit is about to change for you. Whoever this message is for, things are about to change for you once you choose yourself. Once you choose yourself, because this is also about people pleasing. Some of us have stayed in situations because we have felt obligated. We have felt an obligation to those people, partners, friendships, family, or lovers. We have felt obligated to remain in those situations when we know that we've outgrown them, right? And so once you make the decision with this Lover's card here, once you make the decision to walk away from all of the things that have made you feel stuck, that you feel like, I'm just over this. I'm detached emotionally. This is draining me. These unhealthy patterns, these unhealthy people, or just allowing myself to stay in a situation that no longer makes me happy. Once you decide and you choose yourself, You are going, everything changes. Everything shifts. The 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups. Okay, for some of you, these are two people who come together, and this is not for everybody. These are two people who come together, and I feel like both of the parties are very spiritual, are very in tune. And I feel like these two people are literally like a power couple. This is, again, this is not for everybody. Two people who come together to really, like I said before, help raise the collective. Some of you are in the spotlight. These are two people who are very attractive and attract a lot of attention. With their energy. This is not just that they're physically attractive. This is that they step into a room, and as individuals, they are the light. They are the light. You're going to notice them. These two people come together. Okay. So if you have somebody on your mind, in your heart, that you're drawn to, I feel like, again, divine masculine, divine feminine, twin flames are calling out to each other, and there's a union here that's going to happen, that is meant to how can I say this? It's like that union is really, it's gonna be almost like an example, right? A lot of you are gonna be like on social media, or not a lot of you, for whoever this message is for, on social media, and it's like it's going to be a relationship that exemplifies love, loyalty, and commitment, happiness, peace, truth, honor. That's what I'm getting. For some of you, this is really what it is. It's going to be a relationship that does that. And some of you might, I don't know. And this is, again, not for everybody, but I feel like, for whoever this is for, either you've already had this vision, or as I'm saying this, the vision is going to come to you, and there's going to be a specific person on your mind or on your heart that you see yourself working with this person in the spotlight, okay? Maybe a celebrity, maybe you're just, you do the social media thing like me, and this is somebody that you have on your mind or in your heart, and you see yourself collaborating to share not just your relationship, but your wisdom, your knowledge. Yeah, I feel like this is a divine union. This is something that's coming together, that's being orchestrated, divinely orchestrated. And yeah, Ace of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. You're going to gain that clarity. And I feel like somebody wants to communicate. I feel like somebody wants to say something. I feel like somebody has this realization, and it's called in that direction. You communicate and you take the chance, you take the risk, and that's gonna, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. All right. Ace of Swords, the Fool, and Judgment. You make that decision to follow what it is, how you're being guided, right? Follow yourself. Dance to your own tune. Right? This person is dancing to the tune of their own horn. So I feel like finally somebody finds the courage to come forward and start again. The world closes out. This chapter's closing out. Okay? And you're finally feeling inspired, and you're trusting, and you're having faith in the universe that this is going to work out. It is, and so it is. This is going to work out. You feel called. You feel the call to take that leap of faith. For a lot of you, I feel like that's actual travel, okay? That's movement. You're going towards somebody, or they're coming toward you from a different location, okay? Or this could be also that you plan a trip, and this is where, you meet that person. You guys, I'm going to leave it there. This was a beautiful reading, super long. If you stuck with me this entire time, thank you so much, because this is a long one. I appreciate you. I appreciate having you here. If this resonated, please drop a comment down below. Let me know how. Give your girl a like. It helps my channel. If you haven't subscribed already, I hope that you do if you're interested in a personal reading or following me on social media. I now have a Facebook. After 15 years, I forgot to put it on here, but I'm gonna put it on here. You'll see my Instagram. If you want to navigate to my Instagram and click on my link tree, my Facebook is also there. Just starting to get active there. Okay, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with that. I don't know. Spirit inspired me to open one up again, and so I did. I just went with it, baby steps. So we'll see there. You guys, I'm sending you so much healing energy, peaceful energy. Be gentle with yourself, be kind with yourself. If you gotta rest, give yourself the rest. Step into the unknown. None of us know what's about to happen, but we can feel that it's something major. Sending you all loads of peace, love, and light. Mwah.